So Hybridge was formed with the goal of packaging the cloud applications that are the best of breed, Exchange, Zmanda, and so on, with the missing piece that small business still needs, which is the traditional IT support, help desk, on-site support, somebody to sign everyone up, somebody to understand how to have the website go to one place, the email go to another place, and actually be, from a small business perspective, like their IT provider. Just have a very aligned set of interests with a small business around uptime, simplicity, cost effectiveness, and package the whole thing on a very predictable, very understandable monthly per employee basis. No surprise capex, no I need to buy a new server, no oh here's a huge Microsoft license agreement. We have a client that's a financial services organization based here in Silicon Valley. They have a large amount of data, as you would expect, several hundred gigabytes worth of data that's very important to them. And they're based in an office complex here in Silicon Valley, not far from the San Andreas Fault. So they're obviously concerned about availability and backup, and they've taken very normal steps for that. They had a physical tape backup system. They were running a traditional commercial tape backup application. And then we had somebody who would rotate the tapes and would check the logs and take tapes out, and then they were also using Iron Mountain to come every week and pick up a little blue box and carry the tape away to some vault somewhere, and every week the tapes would need to be switched out with Iron Mountain on a rotation schedule, which was all good. It had several problems around that. Primary problem was it was just very time consuming and inconvenient. The tapes had to be physically switched, they had to be at the reception in the right box for Iron Mountain to come pick them up, they'd drive around, they'd come and get the box. All of that had to be tracked and managed. It was also inconvenient to know that the data was actually really being secure and backed up. As you know, quite frequently tape backups are great until you actually need the data on them, and then you try and restore the thing and you can't actually get the data that you need. So there was an additional requirement, which was a new requirement, which was around archiving. That is to say that they wanted to be able to not just recover last week's data or last month's data, but be able to go back in time to say, let's look at this document a year ago and see what it looked like. And for the volume of data they had, traditional archiving methods like DVDs, for example, wouldn't be feasible. They'd need hundreds of DVDs to be able to back up the data. If we're looking for a solution that didn't require so much hand-holding and that we had more confidence in that it would work. So as we started looking around for alternatives about how we could solve really both of these issues, that the time-consuming, inconvenient, and costly aspects of a traditional tape backup, plus get something that would allow us to have something a bit more like Apple Time Machine, where you can kind of say, okay, I want to go back 9 months from now. We found Zmanda Cloud Backup, and that really solved both parts of this. So instead of backing up to a physical tape and then having to have Iron Mountain drive around and pick it up, we implemented the Zmanda Cloud Backup software, and that allowed us to take snapshots, 90 snapshots of the data, and then back it up to Amazon Cloud overnight. And we're also able to establish a series of retention policies for the different types of data that they had, for financial data, closing documents, and so on, to have longer retention and stuff that's inherently out of date faster to have a shorter retention policy. And so for the critical financial data they needed, we're able to have a year's worth retention in the cloud, and able to go independently into the cloud to look that it's there, see the files are there, do test restores much more easily than we were able to do on the physical tape drive, and saved a bunch of money too. So that was an advantage as well. So we've gone from an inconvenient, very time-consuming, less than certain backup solution to something that's much more automatic, much cleaner, and emails when there's a problem, and it gives additional features around the long-term archive.